What's up, everybody? Welcome to Just Because Gaming. My name is Michael,
And I'm Ray.
and thanks for joining us. Before we jump into it, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on our socials, and do all the things in all the places. And with that being said, let's jump into it. Recently, for the Xbox showcase, they showed a lot of information and video about the ROG Ally
ROG
Xbox.
Xbox Ally X, and then there's the regular ROG Xbox Ally. There's two of them, two versions.
The ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X. That's a mouthful.
Which we refer to from here on out as Ally and Ally X.
Well, if they already have the ROG Ally, we'll call it the Xbox Ally.
That works. The big difference between the two, you've got your Xbox Ally, which is going to have the AMD Ryzen 22A chipset, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of storage. The Ally X has AMD Ryzen 22 Extreme. I'm not sure what the big difference between those. Maybe you'll know, Mike. 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage.
Yeah, I mean, 16 gigs of RAM should do most gaming. 24, that's definitely overkill, but that also helps kind of future-proof. Xbox Ally X, you don't have to worry about games starting to lag behind and having issues with them. From everything I've seen about videos showing the details about everything, I'm kind of on the fence about it. In terms of being an Xbox handheld console, sounds great. I wish it was something Microsoft specific and not a partnership with the ROG Ally. I wish they had their own console. I think that Microsoft and Xbox is using this as an opportunity to test the waters. They've seen how PlayStation has had portable consoles and it flopped, and Nintendo has handheld consoles and they're wildly successful. So I think Microsoft is being very purposeful and very cautious with how they're handling this, because they don't want to make millions of handheld consoles only for them to flop and then be out all this money. So I think that's what they're doing. They're partnering with the ROG Ally to basically make Xbox ROG Ally and see how well it sells. And I think that with Microsoft, they're going to be keeping an eye on these sales. And if they go poorly, like how PlayStation did in the past with the PS Vita and the PSP, even though I had both of those, so I was supporting them. If they see those consoles sell poorly and just continue to decline, then they don't have to worry about it, because that's their hardware, that's their cost that they're going to have to eat. Whereas if it sells really well, which I'm hoping it does, and honestly, I don't know about you, Ray, but if I can put some money aside, I think I'm going to get a Xbox Ally X just so that I can play games on the go, because it looks really cool. The console itself gives me some serious Game Gear, some Sega Game Gear vibes, but it also looks a lot like the Nintendo Switch, just a lot beefier.
I like it that they've basically taken the Xbox controller grips and they put that on the ends. So it's going to have a better grip than the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Con grip. I've never really cared for that. I think this will give you a better hold on your console, a better feel that's more natural to your usual gaming console. It'll just feel better in your hand. Won't make your fingers as tired, I think, holding it that way. It's like holding a cell phone in your hand, only bigger, but it's just not as comfortable.
Yeah. That is a trick for the Nintendo Switch. Their Joy-Cons have always been much smaller. I think that's mainly because they market it for kids, even though there's a lot of adults that play with the little Joy-Con controls. Yeah, they're not super comfortable when you're using one Joy-Con controller horizontally. So yeah, they're not the most comfortable thing in the world, especially for long-term gaming, for when you're sitting down and playing for hours. I don't think that's really Nintendo's goal. I don't think they've set out to be a console. I take that back. With the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2, I don't think they've set out with the goal of being a console that you would sit down for hours playing. For me and my family, we'll play a tour of Mario Kart, or we'll play a couple levels of one of the Mario games, and it's just fun in short bursts. That's how we enjoy it. I definitely feel that for the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X, they stuck with Microsoft's focus on ergonomics, because yeah, that's always been a major thing for me. That was one of the reasons why I shifted my primary gaming from the PS4 and PS5 to Xbox, just because the controllers for me were so much more comfortable whenever I would be playing PlayStation. I think it's the fact that the thumbsticks are so close together, kind of like bent my hand inwards, and it was just awkward for my hand. Whereas with the Xbox controller, my hand's like more relaxed. And I think, yeah, like you're saying, I think that definitely transfers over with the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X. If you see a side by side of the regular ROG Ally and the Xbox Ally, you can definitely see those more pronounced handles, the grips, and it definitely looks more comfortable. The only difference that I've really seen, and they're getting dunked on so hard about this, is with the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X. Main difference is there's an Xbox button. And one of the people that I was watching, I think it might have been like Linus Tech Tips or something like that. But he was like, yeah, if you press the Xbox button, it brings you to the dashboard. But the other button does that too. So really, they added a Microsoft Xbox button that does the same thing as an existing button that's like right next to it.
Or if the UI for that is more specific for the Xbox, or if it's just quicker that it gets you to your games, not sure. I noticed today that there was an update on the Xbox. When I click on a tile for my game, it takes me to the store page and it gives you all this information about the game. It doesn't take you directly into the game like it used to. You have to hit it again to play the game. But it gives you the options of buying DLC and all this other stuff. It gives you all the clubs, notifications, how many hours you've played the game. I mean, it's interesting, but if I want to play a game, I kind of like be able to just hop straight to it and skip that screen.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're making it to do that same thing with the ROG Ally on the PC. They're trying to integrate it so they all go together.
Yeah. And that would be reasonable. So if you have that menu button that takes you to the dashboard for the Xbox Ally, it's supposed to be more Windows based, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
And if the menu button on the Ally takes you to the dashboard of the console, that's one thing. And if they were able to make it so that the Xbox button took you to the Xbox library, you have your console where if you press the menu button, it would take you to the dashboard where you could select other things. You could select folders, Game Pass, Steam, different launchers. That's what I'm trying to say.
Access to all those things like
Yeah.
Steam, Discord, all those other apps that normally are on the ROG app.
Yeah.
It'll be available on your Xbox. Man, that's a tongue twister though.
And then if the Xbox button launched the Xbox launcher to where, you're seeing the same screens and everything that you would see on an Xbox, like how you have in your background, that would make sense. But from everything I've seen, both the Xbox button and the menu button do the same thing. They just bring you to the dashboard. So it's kind of redundant at that point, but yeah, I'm hoping that they reconfigure how that Xbox button works. I'm interested in the Xbox Ally X. I'm interested in that console, and if I could
I think if I was going to definitely aim for the X, I know it's going to be much pricier probably than the regular Ally, and they're talking the Ally X probably going for say 700 to 800, somewhere between there. I don't know what the regular Xbox Ally is going to run, probably 500, maybe 600, if the other one's 7 to 8. So that could be a big determining factor on whether I would consider getting one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I need a travel Xbox as much. I play most of my games here at home on my Xbox.
For me, it definitely would hold value because I usually play video games on the TV in the living room. That's always a battle. Getting TV time in the living room. I would definitely play an Xbox Ally where the kids can be watching a Disney movie on the main TV and I'm sitting back on the couch playing something on an Ally. Yeah, I would totally do that.
The biggest reason for me to have a console at all is I want to play on the bigger TV. If I was traveling a lot and I wanted something on the go or taking a lot of plane flights, I think it'd be an excellent option.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I need to spend the extra money on it for what little I'm going to actually feel like I get out of it.
Yeah.
But that's just for me.
Yeah, they definitely will have a market and a target audience. And I think I'm in that target audience, people that don't always have access to their TV. Yeah, that's definitely me.
And for a lot of people, I think it's a good option because my understanding is it will be dockable and you'll be able to play, dockable to your regular TV. So it could act as your main console, especially if you don't just play on Xbox, but you want to be able to play on Steam and these other options as well. You can do all that on your big screen TV and have the option of taking it portably with you. That is a good option for a lot of people, I think. That's pretty much all the information we have on the Xbox ROG Ally X and regular Ally. If you like our show, please subscribe, leave comments, like us, and come back and watch some more. Appreciate it. Thanks. Later.
Peace.